Welcome to my channel. Listening practice. Full story in English.
Kiko and Grandfather. Long time ago, in a forest there lived a grandfather with his beloved dog. The dog was named Kiko. Kiko had accompanied Grandpa for decades. Grandpa and Kiko loved and cared for each other. Kiko was the only family Grandpa had. Grandpa cared for Kiko like his own child. Kiko was a smart and obedient dog, so Grandpa really loved him. Every morning Grandpa's job was to herd his sheep in the pasture, and in the evening Grandpa took his sheep back to his house. When Grandpa was tired of herding his sheep, Kiko was always ready to take Grandpa's place and looking after the sheep. Kiko was always alert. He wouldn't let a single sheep to leave the group. Kiko always circled the sheep that were eating, and barked when a sheep was far from the group. When Kiko took over looking after the sheep, Grandpa would take shelter under a tree. Sometimes Grandpa even fell asleep under the tree. Grandfather really believed in Kiko, and really relied on his dog. When it was getting evening, Kiko barked near Grandpa to wake him up, because it was time to go home. Grandpa, Kiko, and the sheep walked home through the pasture, and they arrived home when it was dark. All the sheep were put in the pen. Grandpa and Kiko enjoyed a plate of bread and a glass of tea. After they felt full, Grandpa and his dog went to their respective beds. Day after day, Kiko accompanied his grandfather, going to the pasture to graze sheep, until one day, Kiko, who was quite old, was sick. The dog couldn't stand up. He just kept lying on his bed. He also couldn't eat any more. All the food and bones that Grandfather gave him were left like that. Kiko couldn't eat. Kiko had been sick for weeks. His body was very thin because he couldn't eat, until one night Kiko breathed his last breath. Grandpa and Kiko could no longer be together. Grandpa felt very sad about losing his beloved dog. There was no one to accompany Grandpa at home, and there was no one to accompany Grandpa to herd the sheep. Grandfather hugged Kiko tightly for the last time, then buried Kiko near his house. Day after day Grandpa grazed his sheep alone, and all that time, Grandpa always missed his dog.